Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, this is going to be a response to. I only watched about this maybe right about here or so, and I said I got to make a video. I got to. Anyway, the title of this video was put up by Holy Bible Defenders. Christians trying to go deep but fail. And you get the hashtag Christianity. And my title to this video is really a response, but the actual title that I'm going to put up is, if I can spell their names correctly, Don't Let Me Sick Hakah and Hassan on Your Ass. Now, I say that because, Hakah and Hassan, Brother Hassan, and Deacon Hakah, and Sakari, the leadership of Sakari, they love to debate. And that was me. That was me 40 years ago, 35 years ago. When you're young, you have that. The scriptures say that the young man is called for his strength. I'm not going to give you the precept. As a matter of fact, there's another precept. I think it's the same one. Give me a second here. In Ecclesiastes, it says, "Rejoice in thy youth." Let me do this. Let me do it this way. Let's see what comes up. That's why I gave the title. Excuse me. Okay, that's young is in there. Young man, a lot of times, a bunch of times. Bear me for a minute. I know the youth is in young and youth is in Ecclesiastes. Right there, here it is. "Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But now thou, that for all these things the Most High will bring thee into judgment." You, as a young man, you can, you want to do things, you want to do a lot of things. Other than coming into the truth, the ones of you that come into the truth as young men, that's when the Most High wants you. He made Jeremiah a prophet, but Jeremiah was always a prophet. He was a prophet in the spiritual realm before he was even born. So young men do what they want to do. And I experienced this, brothers coming to the camp that were like a little too young, 15, 16. And there's one brother in particular, he just left, and his reason was, I'm out of here because I'm young and I got to live my life. I heard that a couple of times. And see, there's different times that brothers come into the truth. But if you're 15, 16, 14, 12, you might not stay in it, I would say I knew about the truth before I came into the truth. My parents, they said we were Israelites, so, but I fully came to the truth in the fold, so to speak, when I was 24. All right. I'm not saying that that's a perfect age. It could be 20. Could be a little older than 24. But a guy that's in this thing, his father's in it. His father's grown man. His father might be in his 30s and 35 or whatever. And he has a son that may be in his teens. He might be 14. Don't be surprised if he kind of strays away, because you could have received the calling and your son or your sons didn't. Just because a man is a prophet doesn't mean that your sons are prophets. And just because you're a prophet doesn't mean that your father's a prophet. Joseph, the father, biological father of Yahushua, was not a prophet. So I'm going to go in, if it's not in here, but I'm going to go to Ecclesiastes 12. And it speaks about the young man. So it says, "Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk." And when I was at a certain age, I did one of the things that I always was always something on my mind was getting women. Women. And if I dealt with a woman, we had a relationship, and shit fall apart, I'll get another woman. When you're young, you could do that. In the ways, and when you get older, it ain't no big deal. That's why when you a man, an experienced man with discipline, you're a bit of a stoic. Women can play games on you when you're young with what's between their legs. But it doesn't always work with older men. Some older men it does. So an older man said, "Okay, you don't want to see me. You got to have a Charles Bronson spirit in hard times." His wife played the love interest. His actual wife, Jill Island, played the love interest in the movie. And he was dealing with kind of seeing her, and then he came to the place and she had another man. He said, "You want to do something?" And then the other man came out, and Gabar laughs at this in the car. He said, "Okay." Then he just walked away, with that stone face. Like he said, oh, okay, you got another man. All right, no big deal. I ain't going to get mad. I'm moving on. So that's what an older man that's a stoic would do. I'm going into a whole different topic. But there's some older men that they get controlled because their mamas never loved them. Yeah, I have a friend that all he wants is this woman. All the woman, I got to get another. I said because his mother never loved him. His mother and his father, they were well-to-do, and they would go on vacations and stuff. They were making a lot of money, and they would leave the kids and have the grandmother. That's why this guy's always looking for poontang. I mean, this is years ago, and I know why. And I'll tell him. I say, "You know why you do this? Because your mother never breastfed you, man. Your grandmother breastfed you." It says, and that affects you, man. If you don't get that love from your mother, you a fucked up individual, man. It said to walk in, and that's more so than the father. Because the mother is the nourisher, the father is the instructor. So you can be nourished by your mother and loved by your mother and not have a father, but you can go to other men that are father figures and learn how to be a man and say, when I have children, I'm not gonna leave my children. If me and my wife don't make it, I'm gonna still make time for my children. Which the black woman, if you're a guy that has a child, you don't make it with her, he wants to pay child. She said, "No, I'm gonna take care of the kid. I'm gonna come see the kid." You know what that bitch will do? Oh, you can't see the kid. If you don't want to see the kid and they force the child support out of you, and you got to do more than just pay child support. You got to come see your son. So it's a game with these dumb hammerhead hoes, and they're all hoes. They're all hoes, man. Whether you started as a hoe or you finished as a hoe, you a hoe. All right? All of y'all. Your mom was a hoe, your grandmama, your big mama was a hoe. They were all hoes, man. They ain't going to tell you. They ain't going to tell you. How do I know that? Amos 7:17. So you go there and now you shut that. No, my mama wouldn't. Or your mama did some things that you didn't know about. Your mama did some things that your daddy didn't know about. Anyway, it says, I'm thinking of the song by the Stapletons. Daddy couldn't read, Daddy couldn't write, but one thing Daddy sure could do right. Daddy could swear, I declare. That proves we're Israelites. Anyway, put that. Go to YouTube and put in Staple Singers. You can put in Daddy couldn't read or Daddy could swear. And that's old school. That's for grown folks. But that you gotta listen to the lyrics, right? Anyway, let's get back into it. It says, "And walk in the ways of thine heart," meaning do what you want to do. And in the sight of thine eyes, you follow your own interests. But now thou, that for all these things the Most High will bring thee into judgment. And I'm gonna go to matter of fact, let me just do it now. Okay, so let me come on back. Go forward. It says here, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, when your young man come in, while the evil days come not." Now he mentioned the evil days in the previous chapter, right? The judgment. "Nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." So let me come on back over here. Okay, let me come back here again. Give me a second. I'm going to get back into the subject. Okay, I just found it. 1 John 2 verse 14, "I have written unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I have written unto you, young men, because ye are strong, and the word of the Most High abideth in you, and ye have overcome the wicked one. I have written unto you, young men, because ye are strong." So what I do now, I'm always doing videos, I'm doing things, but when I was younger, when I came to this truth, when I used to always run into the Ansar Allah community Muslims, Dr. York's people, because they were all over the place. And myself, sometimes I roll on them by myself, be about 2 or 3 of them, and we would just go for hours, or it would be me and former high priest Ariala. Y'all don't know him, and I believe he's in the spirit world now. But anyway, we used to go. I used to go stay at his house. His wife was there, but they had a room, and I would stay there sometimes, and I would go there, hang out there from the school. So we would get on the train, and it'll be them Ansar Allah community Muslims. They were all on the. This guy, Dr. York, was a multi-millionaire. He had a bunch of them, man. And we would go on a train, and we would run into him. Then we'd strike up a conversation. It might be 9 o'clock. By the time we finished talking to that dude, it might be 2 in the goddamn morning. And then one time, we were gonna see the movie Platoon. Where in the movie Platoon, they quote the scripture in Ecclesiastes 7, rejoice, young man, in thy youth. I believe it's in the opening of the movie. So we were supposed to see like a 2 o'clock show, and it was on down the street from the movie theater. It was in Manhattan, and we tore into these Ansar Allah community Muslims with the scriptures, and guess what? A crowd formed, and we set up a camp right there. It was an impromptu camp, and you had people, Edomites, Jake, they just circled around listening to us, and we were younger. We was in our 20s. And there was one situation where we went to one dude, and he said, damn, you guys know your shit. He said, but if you could deal with my master teacher, then you guys are good. And then we said, well, where's he at? We knew it was in, they gave us the correct, it was on Myrtle Ave. I mean, that was millions of dollars. He had a whole thing set up. He had a whole, you thought you was back in one of them Arab countries, man. And we went there. We told him that we're coming, and we went there. He wasn't there, but he had a packed group of people, and just giving you these war stories. And we were dealing with the top teachers, and we were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then we said, look, we want to see your teacher. They like Bruce Lee and The Chinese Connection, which originally that movie was The Fist of Fury, but in America it was called The Chinese Connection. And Bruce Lee said, I want to see your chief, because he came to the school at night, and he fucking up all of them, and he looking for the head guy, because he wanted to kill the head guy, because he killed his master, Huyen Chao, which is an actual guy that existed, that he was beating everybody, and if you're a wrestler, that's the whole story. But he could have been a Jake. But they poisoned him or something like that. But they made the movie Chinese Connection, and then this guy, Jet Li, had made a remake of the movie. So that movie is loosely based upon. So, because there was Jakes. Jakes was back there looking like Moabites, but they were actually Jakes. Huyen Chao was probably a Jake. Anyway, so let me read this again. It said, I have written unto you, fathers, because you have known him that is from the beginning. I have written unto you, young men, because ye are strong, and the word of the Most High abideth in you, and ye have overcome the wicked one. So let me look up the word strong. So that's why Hassad and Hakkad and Hassad is the way they are, because they're young. Oh, so the following week or 2 weeks, Dr. York was there, and we kept in contact with him. They said we come in, we're coming. Is he here? He said, yeah, he's here. And we made the agreement that we can bring a camera, a video camera. He said, no problem. And then the tape recorder as a backup. And then an hour before, so we're leaving now. I just want to confirm we're bringing a video camera and a tape recorder. And then they said, well, no, you can't bring the video camera and tape recorder. I said, well, wait a minute. We agreed that you can bring the video camera and tape recorder. Meanwhile, all the classes he did was he had a big professional camera or set of cameras, and he taped everything. He videoed everything. So we were like, what the hell is this? Then we went. It was myself, Ariala, I believe Elder Barak, the head of the, I don't know what's happening with him. I haven't seen him for a while. The HODC, I don't know if he's, I don't know. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him do classes, so I don't know what's going on with him. We got Lahab to come, High Priest Lahab and High Priest Shaw. Was you want to find there? He was there the last time. I think he came this time. So Dr. York was sitting there, and Dr. York didn't want to deal with me because I had a stack of books. I had the Torah, the Tanakh. I had all kind of books, and I pulled them out one by one. I had a tower of books, and I was looking at them. When I was bringing the books out of the bag, I was looking at them, looking dead at them, like, you got to deal with all these books. I got that from Yeshaya, which he was one of the high priests. And they allowed Lahab to speak and Ariel to speak and this, and you had the mic, and it would pick up on the mic. If you didn't have the mic, you couldn't hear me. So I grabbed the mic. I said, "Give me that damn mic." I grabbed the mic and I went to speak, and the mic, nothing came out because he cut the mic off. And then it was about 150 of them in there, and we were so crazy we were gonna fight all of them. And I was like, I was cursing the guy out, and I got so close to him that I could have grabbed him. And I called him a nigga. I said, "Yo, nigga." I said, I think I said Christ. I didn't say Yahweh. I think I said Christ, so he can understand. I said, when Christ come back, I believe I said that. You're gonna be the first. I said, "You're gonna be the first nigga he gonna kill." And he got nervous, man. He said, "This nigga crazy." And then we left. Now, some years later, one of his top teachers was there, and this brother just wound up coming he left and he wound up coming to the school. And there was a book, I think I got the book somewhere, where he airs this dude out. Oh, this guy's originally from Jamaica, and he went to the military, and he did this. We got all the information on this. Yeah, that's why people ask for your address, where you live, your mama's name, social security number, where do you work. I ain't gonna ask nobody all that. That's none of my fucking business, man. See, you guys are out of order because you ain't got or you don't know what you meant. I said, did Yahweh Shai, when the apostles, the biggest number they got was up from 120 to 3,000 to 5,000, and that's all in the scriptures in the book of Acts. Did Peter say, "Look, you got to give me your name and where you live and how much money do you make"? No. It was an honor system, you know. But anyway, let me do this. Let me close this. So Deacon Hakar and Brother Hassad do what they do because they're young. Like I said, that was me almost about 40 years ago, 35, 40 years ago. That's back when I can read the red letter with no glasses. The red letter now, the little book with all the precepts in it, I need glasses. I mean, if I did a smoothie and I put one of the ingredients and I put cilantro in there, which is loaded with lutein, I don't need glasses. So let me see. Let me listen to the word.
Strong's G 2478. Ischuras. Ischuras.
Ischuras. Ischuras. Strong, mighty, of living being, strong, either in body or in mind. Yeah, because when you're young, your mind is strong too. You can remember things. When you hit a certain age, you don't remember them precepts like you used to. It's just old age. Of one who has strength of soul to sustain the attacks of Satan, strong and therefore exhibiting many excellences, annihilate things. Strong, violent, forcibly uttered, firm, sure. That's why when you're young, if somebody talks shit, you can just haul off and punch them in the face. You know, you don't do that as an older man, but when you're a young nigga be talking shit, you just tear into his ass. You just cold fuck him up. So it's the same thing when you come into this truth as a young man. You want to jump on somebody and you want to beat them up with the scriptures. So that's why I mentioned, you know, Deacon Hakar and Brother Hassad, because they be jumping up, because they're young. They're young. Okay, so here we go.
That all Jews, there will be no Jew that will come to Christ, but for the...
Okay, this guy, what does he call, a smart Christian or whatever his page is? I call him a dumb Christian. I'll say this. He goes into the scriptures. He's not your average everyday Christian, Black Baptist. He'll go into root words. I wouldn't be surprised if he was you know, schooled at a cemetery. You know what I mean by that? Theological cemetery. Seminary, I call it a cemetery. So he can maneuver his way around the scriptures, just as Elder Mike or Pastor Mike that rolled up on Detroit IUIC camp, and he was asking them questions. He's another one that he can navigate through the scriptures pretty good, and he'll go into Greek words and root words. So, but I'm gonna say this about this guy. Now, the IUIC, this guy is based out in Texas. Now, the IUIC rolled up with the chief commander, Nate, and they even went to his building, and his name was there, and he wasn't there. Something to the effect, because they were looking for him. So they wanted to you know, go head to head with him with the scriptures. So that's why I said what I said. I said, don't let. I said, I'm a sick Hakar and Hassad on your ass. Oh, I had a dream. I had a dream a couple hours ago that I actually met up with Captain Tazariak. But there was children with him, and the children were happy to see me. There were mostly girls, but there was a couple of boys too, and I took it that those were his daughters, or sons and daughters, or whatever. And I believe he said, "Well, this one's my daughter, that's my daughter. They're their cousins, or whatever the case may be." And they were happy to see me. And then I believe I never saw his wife, but a woman this is my wife, and then she just hugged me, and she wouldn't let me go. You know, she just hugged me, and then she stepped back and looked at me with a smile on her face. And then I think I saluted him or whatever, and then I woke up from the dream because he had left in my notifications that he wanted to get together. We want to talk. It doesn't have to be public. I mean, it could be public. I don't care. You know, one day we'll come down. Like I said, yeah, we're gonna get together. Cause hey, I see if you're of the elect and you're of another camp, all the elect members are gonna they're gonna all get together. Whether you be the IUIC, GMS, whatever camp, I see them coming together. I see that there's a lot of splits going on, and there's a lot of coming together. So that's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing, you know. So I said, well, that confirms that, you know, we'll meet, because I met him the first time, and it wasn't on good terms. If y'all know about the video, that's when I didn't know him. And, you know, but I began to like him because I said, oh, because he's a big dude. That dude 6'5". He's a big dude. And he goes to the gym. So I'm figuring he's a strong arm, you know. So I started seeing him defend the gospel. I said, oh, this man's a scriptural man. I said, I like this guy. Even Ricard said that. It's hard for Ricard to like somebody. Ricard said, no, I like this guy, man. because he does go into the scriptures, you know. Some of y'all, like Grandpa Israel, you don't know who I'm talking about. But he'll go out. Fuck all these guys. They ain't right. But some of them, if not most of them, are of the elect. This is my belief. You know, this is my belief. You know, guys that are diligent. Hey, like, you know, General Nathaniel, he's diligent. He's super diligent. You know, he's coming from the heart, but I don't know if he made a backdoor deal. But he does teach people like the Israel and all that. You know, he goes into a lot of the scriptures that we go into. But he goes off on a lot of things. He stays going off. The hell doctrine, that's clearly going off. That's Roman Catholic. So anyway, let me let this play.
For the most part, the overwhelming majority of Jews in the world are not going to come. That's what the Bible says. But what do? They went to, well, what about DNA and this and that and the blacks and African who are Jews and so forth. That wasn't the point. The point was to say that blacks in America, if they are the real Jews, then why do by and large black people do not reject Christ? That's not to say that black people.
What Christ are you talking about? You're obviously talking about Caesar Borgia. You're obviously talking about another Jesus. That's in second. Let me just do it this way. Another Jesus, and that's in 2 Corinthians, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's 4. Yep, 2 Corinthians 11:4. It says, "For if he that cometh preaches another Jesus," I'm reading it verbatim, "whom ye have not preached, whom we have not preached, and we're preaching another Jesus. Or if he receive another spirit," Esau can make it, the white man, everybody can make it. Supersessionism, what is it, replacement theology, everybody could be a spiritual Israel, "which ye have not received, or another gospel." A gospel is not, well, the gospel is Jesus love everybody. No, the gospel is the good news, which is the whole book. "Behold, I come in the volume of the book is spoken of me. Which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him." Bear with him. So Jake is bearing with who? The Edomite Jesus. And this guy is doing the same thing. That's why he said, let me bring it back.
DNA and this and that and the blacks and African who are Jews and so forth. That wasn't the point. The point was to say that blacks in America, if they are the real Jews, then why do by and large black people do not reject Christ? That's not to say that black people.
Talking about obviously he's talking about Caesar Borgia, which is a so-called white man. So he would have to believe that the American Christianity, that Jesus looked like, a so-called white man. Should kind of look like Charles, what's his name? Manson. What's his name? Charles Manson? Something Manson. The guy that, he looked like a rock and roll player. Part of a rock and roll band. So that's who he's talking about. He's talking about the Jesus that loved everybody, which is a so-called white man, which the reason why people are into that, no different than Africans, which a lot of them is Israelites. But about half of the country, or the continent of Africa is either Christianity or Islam. About half of the country is Christianity, the other half, approximately, is Islam. Why do you have Africans worshiping an Arab religion? Because the Arabs forced a religion on them. Christianity was forced. If the Jehovah's Witness conquered the whole continent of Africa, the majority of the people would be Jehovah's Witness or Seventh-day Adventists. Jake down south, they're mostly Baptists because the slave masters were Baptists. The Latin tribes, They follow Catholicism because the masters of them, the conquerors, were Catholic. They brought Catholicism to them. That's why. Because Jake don't, you know, you was born into it. Your mama, your father was a Baptist. Your granddaddy, you were Baptist through and through. And then you're not a part of the elect. Because the ones that come into Israel are the ones that reject that. So let's listen on.
Are actually all Christians.
It's because the so-called blacks and Native Indians are following another god, Jezo Freako.
That I've said about them, such as their little prophecy that they think they fulfill, that we fulfill as black people out of Deuteronomy 28. But what about eating the flesh of our children? I don't recall blacks doing so when they came here to America. But
see, you don't know. So he mentions Deuteronomy. Let me let you listen to this again. See, we're analyzing things now. We're more of an analytical group than anything else.
That I've said about them, such as their little prophecy that they think they fulfill, that we fulfill as black people out of Deuteronomy 28. But what about eating the flesh of our children? I don't recall blacks doing so when they came here to America, but at all. As a matter of fact, so much so that there are even videos where their other compadres did videos stating that they should have done a better job in handling themselves, and said that this was an obvious answer here or there and they didn't look good. Well, I don't think that they ever do. I don't care if it's...
So now let's deal with, he quoted Deuteronomy 28. He didn't give you a verse. And he said, what about the, cannibalism? And when did that happen in America? Well, it is going to happen in America. And it did happen in America, in the South, before this. They had slaves. They were so bad in the southern part of the United States that they were committing. There's history on that. I had a book on it. The book got stolen. But there was a history on cannibalism in the South. Matter of fact, let me do this. Edomites were eating each other, and I guess Jake was too. Oh, by the way, and Esau would eat. There's a book called The Delectable Negro, and the Delectable Negro was about Edomites taking Jake's slaves and killing them, cooking them, cutting them up, and eating them. That's the Delectable Negro. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into that. But if you go to Google, you put in the Delectable Negro, it tells you cannibalism in the South of Europeans killing Jake, cutting them up, and eating their flesh. But now when he mentioned where in America did black people start eating their flesh, commit cannibalism, didn't happen in America. It happened in Rome. And the verse that he was talking about, which he didn't mention, is around about the 50th verse. And the guy's not all that deep because he should have known that, because the Edomite scholars, Christian scholars, know that. Let's go to that. Deuteronomy 28. And let's go to 50, the 50th verse. And cannibalism is coming back. Cannibalism is here. There's people that eat human flesh. There's black woman. The cops arrested her for killing a cat and eating it. And she looked completely bugged out. Okay, a nation of fierce continents which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. That's talking about the Romans. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, because we had our own land, which also leave these corn. That's back in Israel. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest. That was 70 A.D. And it started in 66 under Nero, which Nero's back. That's Trump. We'll see what's going to happen. Like I said, Trump should be the next president. If he's not, this is his third assassination attempt. that they're trying to hide in the news again. They're trying to take him out. But if he comes in office, that's Nero just coming back into power, and he wants to be the president. He loves being a president, man, because he was the president back then. He was the emperor of Rome back then, and for about 15, 16 years, he became emperor at the age of 16. There's a whole history on that. His stepfather, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't his actual father. I believe his stepfather was Claudius. He was the one that hated the Israelites and the Christians. He pushed them out of Rome, and it was Nero's mother that killed her husband, which was Claudius, because she wanted to be in that power seat. And I believe she used her younger son to be the emperor, and he wound up killing his own mother. You know? But during that time, when the Apostle Paul and Apostle Peter and Apostle Paul got put to death, it was signed off. It was during the time when he was the emperor of that time. So that's showing you when he coming back with that hatred for Jake all over again. It says, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, increase it, and he shall besiege thee and all thy gates until thy high walls and fences come tumbling down. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters. That's cannibalism. Matter of fact, let me go here. Let me go to the see, so what they'll do, they'll say these guys go by Deuteronomy 28. Well, when did black African Americans eat their children? What you got to understand is Deuteronomy 28, the curses it's not referring to just America. It's referring to Rome. It's referring to the nations that we came under, because it says in Deuteronomy 28, under these nations, or something to that effect. I may go to that. So let's go. See what comes up. Okay, I didn't want this. I wanted the commentary. Okay, we got it. Cambridge. They don't want to say nothing too much about it. Yeah, that happened before the Roman Empire. Yep. Let me see. Let me do this. Let me put in Rome just to see if it comes up. Okay. Right here. They have indeed been plucked from the land. Babylon captivity. Jerusalem was destroyed by the Romans. They don't want to tackle the 53rd verse. They're going around like right here. Okay, it says 49th verse. Where else is it? Right, during the time of Kings. Lamentations. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy body, then which nothing can be more shocking and unnatural, which is explained as follows: the flesh of thy sons and their daughters, and the siege, the enemies, the stress, blah 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 blah. Then it mentions Nebuchadnezzar. So that happened many a times. And again, in the Apocrypha, moreover, and these scholars do deal with the Apocrypha. This is the proof right here. It says, and again in the Apocrypha. So you got Edomite Christian scholars that do go into the Apocrypha. All right? Moreover, he have delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about. And that's what it says in Deuteronomy. The curses don't apply to one nation. Deuteronomy 28 does not apply to, this is what's going to happen to you in America. So you should watch and listen more. To be as a reproach and desolation among all the people round about, where Yahweh have scattered them. Baruch 2 and 4. And in the siege of the same city by the Romans, of which an instance will be hereafter given. So they're telling you that it was the Romans. And it wasn't just the Romans. But when it says thy high and fenced walls come down, that was the Romans. They took the wall down. They built the wall around our wall in Jerusalem. It says here. It says the eagle, the Roman ensign, compare Deuteronomy 24 and 28, and consult together this passage, the marginal references. So he mentioned Rome again. There's another, here it goes again. It's telling you that was during the time of the Romans. So that's what Deuteronomy 28:53 is talking about. So let's listen to it again.
All blacks doing so when they came here to America, but at all eating they fulfill that we fulfill that I've said about them, such as their little prophecy that they think they fulfill that we fulfill as black people.
Right, he said their little prophecy
out of Deuteronomy 28. But what about eating the flesh of our children? I don't recall.
Now I just showed you that was that was fulfilled before the Roman Empire, but it was also fulfilled, during the Roman Empire when Israel was under siege. All you got to do, everybody tell you. People say, well, the Jews never existed. Well, how do you explain when the Romans besieged Jerusalem? You can't.
All blacks doing so when they came here to America, but at all. As a matter of fact, so much so that there are even videos where their other compadres did videos.
Now he's going to mention the IUIC, then he's going to mention the GMS, which proves that he's been watching the IUIC's videos and the GMS videos. They didn't mention IUCBK, but I'm positive he watches all them different videos, the Sakari, but he just happened to mention IUIC, and then he mentions GSM. So he watches us. So if we had a debate, you would look foolish. Because I would ask you, when did that happen? When did Deuteronomy 28, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, when did that happen? And for that matter, let's go to the 43rd verse, the 47th verse, 48th verse. When did that happen? Then, like I said, let me do this. Because the curses don't apply to just one nation. Let me do this. Nation. The Most High going to set us on high above all the nations of the earth. So the cursings are going to turn back into blessings. So these scriptures right here, from the first verse to the 14th verse. Okay, let's see what the 33rd verse says. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors of nation. This is what I wanted. 37th verse. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations whither Yahweh shall lead thee. So now, were we not led into other nations? Were we not taken over by other nations? Now, in the case of Rome, we didn't go into Rome. Although we had Israelites that were in Rome, we were in our land in Palestine, and they come and took us over. The same with the Babylonians. The Babylonians came and took us over. Same with the Assyrians. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. So the curses didn't just happen in America. All the Deuteronomy 28 no, it happened during the time of the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Greeks, and then the Romans. And then prior to that, you had the Moabites, you had the different, we was in Egypt, we grew as a people, as a nation, in captivity. So it says nations with an S. So when you go back to Deuteronomy 28, start from 50, read 51, 52, 53, he's talking about the Romans. Yoke of iron. Why don't he ask that question? Wait a minute. He said, where in America the Deuteronomy said we're going to eat our babies? That didn't happen in America. And but let me ask you this. It says, let me put this in. And put in yoke. Yoke. 48th verse. And thirst and nakedness, and went and in one of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now you're gonna say, well, that happened in the Syrian Empire. Well, it did put us in yokes. That's what Esau does this today. You know, they put on neck restraint and chain you up, yoke you up. But they actually put yokes on Jake in here in the American slavery. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. I'm not going to put this. How am I going to do this? Let me put in yoke of iron. And I'm going to go to images. Now, they used to have a lot of images, and they started taking them images down. Okay, this is this guy. Yeah, this guy, he's on YouTube. He's an actor. He got caught up in the system. Let me just put in yoke of iron. Oh, there you go. Yoke of iron. They're chained up. They're yoked up. I didn't put yoke of iron, Deuteronomy 28, on a Negro in slavery. I just put in yoke of iron. 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 Why don't you talk about that, man? Yoke of iron. That's for cattle, oxen. You yoke them together to plow. Look at that. He's yoked up. His hands are yoked. He doesn't have a yoke of iron around his neck, But he has a yoke of iron around his neck. He has a yoke of iron. He has a yoke of iron. Clearly, yokes of iron. Let me open this up. Yokes of iron. And they use wooden yokes too, but these yokes right here are made out of iron. So it was heavy on the neck. So why didn't you mention that? Where did that happen? Well, that was talking about the Deuteronomy 28. 28 is talking about the small hats. They never. Where did a small hat ever have a yoke of iron on their neck? Never. It's talking about us. Let's listen to some more.
Video stating that they should have done a better job in handling themselves, and said that this was an obvious answer here or there and they didn't look good. Well, I don't think that they ever do. I don't care if it's the top or the bottom of.
So that right, this statement that he just made proved whatever you show him, he's not going to. He got in his. He programmed his mind, self-programming. He programmed his mind not to accept it. So whatever evidence you give him, he's not going to accept it. If the Most High himself came down as a so-called black man, he will not accept it. Because in his heart, Jesus is a white man. So what do you do with a guy like that? Do you have debates with this guy? Do you sit down and try him to get? He's obviously not of the elect.
The Hebrew Israelites. I don't care which sect it is, whether it's the IUIC, I think, the GSM. I'm not sure the different name.
So two prominent groups. I'm surprised you didn't mention Zakari, ISUBK, and others. Because we put up a lot of videos. That's why I tell y'all, all you brothers should be putting up videos every day. If you're diligent, you can't tell me you're diligent and you putting up a 15-minute or 10-minute video once a month. You can't tell me that you can't be diligent and do that. Somebody that's diligent is a person that does videos every day. Now, you may skip a day and you might do 3 videos the next day. My thing is, I want to do as many videos as the Spirit gives me utterance. So today, it would be nice if I put up 5 videos or even 10 videos. So why did he mention IUIC? IUIC puts up a lot of videos. Genesis of Hakar and Hassad, they're putting their faces out there, so they're getting a name for them. That name is up there because they're putting up a lot of videos and they're challenging everybody. So that's how you get that fame, you know. So all you brothers got to be like that. All you brothers, if you're in this thing, you can't. The scriptures speak in Revelation 3. It speaks about being either be hot or cold, but because you're lukewarm, Most High's not dealing with you. What did he say he's going to do? He's going to spew you out of his mouth. I used to bring that up all the time when I had the 50 plus man camp, and I used to open up with that scripture, and you can see the faces of certain. Apostle Gabar can tell you. Apostle Gabar will tell you, and Bishop Nate was in there too. He was one of the men under my camp. And there were certain men that when I would say, and I would say, you know what scripture I want? As soon as I opened up the door, I said, you know what scripture? I was kind of a tyrant. Anyway, but I calmed down. And I'm more, I'll listen to a man. I'm not just going to suspend you. If a brother needs to be suspended because he did something wrong, but he apologized, I was wrong. I prayed to the Most High. I went on the fast, Then we said, oh, brother, don't worry about it, brother. Just don't do it again, Then if he does it again and he apologizes and he's sincere, you can't do nothing to him. But you got guys that got an attitude, and then you suspend them or you kick them out. But anyway, I used to say, you know what scripture I want? And the brother would read it, stand up and read it. And you would look, and I would look into the audience, and I would see guys put their heads down, they'd get all mad. Those were the niggas that wasn't diligent. Them were the guys that were not diligent. They had brought me to counsel to Lahab, and they're saying, Tahar, he's too hard on us, which I wasn't. He said when he opened up the door, we felt we felt like swords was flying at us in the spirit. And I said, okay, if swords were flying at you in the spirit, that means you ain't doing the right fucking thing. There's certain men that they wasn't feeling no sword flying to them. Apostle Gabar wasn't feeling sword flying to him. And certain other brothers wasn't feeling it. The ones that felt the sword flying at your ass are the ones that ain't fucking diligent. And guess what? Every last one of you monkeys are back in the world, getting ready to get chipped up and to get hit up with the missiles. The only two that remained teaching Israel was General Bishop. Sometimes he's an elder, sometimes he's a general, sometimes he's this, he's that, and Nathaniel, and which you used to know him as Nathaniel Alaga, and the Apostle Gabar. Those are the only two from the 50s. All the other guys are back in the world. Some of them is dead. Some of them is in the crazy house. Some of them are watching our videos. Some of them, don't be surprised, is talking shit on the videos. Still getting mad. So the reason why you got mad when I said, give me the scripture, is because you weren't of the elect and you were not diligent. And what showed that is you turn your back on the plow. So every last one of you, if you're still living, you're going to get a chip. And you know what comes after that. Go to Isaiah, Revelation 14:9. That's what's going to happen to you. Here I come with the chip thing. And all you guys that are not, let me just say this about the microchip. GMS teaches that the MOTB is a micro C-hip. Sakari teaches that the MOTB is a micro C-hip. Genesis teaches that the MOTB is a micro C-hip. Who else? What other camps teach that? HODC believes it, but they don't really push it. We always put, if there's an article on the MOTB, the micro C-hip, we're going to make a video on it to ad nauseum. Look that up. That's legalese. Now, the rest of the camps, they don't teach that. Like IUIC, IACPK, Wi-Fi. They don't teach it. So when it happens, what are they going to tell their people? What are they going to tell their people? And if you have elect among those groups, I just mentioned those three groups. There's many other groups that Sons of Thunder, which came out of Zabak, Priest Zabak. The Priest Zabak said it's John 3:16. Now I know what he meant by that. He meant that the mark of the beast is Christianity. But he said it in a different way. Oh, that's John 3:16. I know what he meant by that. And you had certain guys come up to his camp. There was one guy some years ago that said, what about the MOTB that GMS teaches? So he had to explain that it wasn't what we taught. It's what we taught is correct. It's 100%. Matter of fact, we're 1,000,000,000% sure. But what if that doesn't happen? It's going to happen. That's my answer, my response to, what if it doesn't happen? What you going to do now? I said, I'm not going to do nothing because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right? And you'll see it when it's fulfilled. You guys that can't see it, you don't follow your blind leaders. The scriptures say if the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into a ditch. You better go on a fast, and you better ask the Most High to open up your eyes as to what's real and what's not real. Prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. So Hassan was correct on that. But you can use it the way we've been using it. But it says everything that comes to you, prove it. And if it's good, keep it. And if it's not good, throw it away. So all you members in IUCPK, Captain Tazariak, and Captain Tazariak sees it. He's part of that group that don't believe it. That's why him and Captain Kadazar made a joke that the high priest of GMS is Alex Jones. And I said, I didn't get mad at that. I don't get mad at things. I don't get offended like I used to. I'm not even offended at this guy. This is small. This is a small banana. Come on.
But there really is no point in having conversation with someone who is not going to listen.
And this, let me see, why black women with multiple baby daddies. Quaba stinks. And I look at, you know how you see something and you want to throw up? When I look at most of these black women, I want to throw up. They're complete disgust. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. There's nothing sexy about this. There's nothing sexy about that. They're complete fucking turnoffs, man. I'm just telling you the truth. And not all of them, because there's some decent ones out there. I'll say like Trump said. He said they're murdering, they're raping, they're selling drugs. But there's also some good ones out there. There's a handful of good Jake women out there, but the mass majority of them are a bunch of low-life scum buckets. Yeah, I said it. Okay, does vocab alone approve of this message?
All the ones that are believing in him. Hina pas hapistuan ex auton me apolates, which means all the ones that are believing in him.
He knows a little Greek, okay? He knows more Greek than I do. I can't shoot that Greek out like he does. But I can go to the blue letter and I can say, well, this is from the Greek word meaning this. So I would have to say he probably been trained. You know, he probably been to a theological cemetery.
Will never perish. The distinction is not made between Jews and Gentiles. It's all inclusive.
Yeah, because you don't understand what a Gentile is in the New Testament. A Gentile, when it mentions the word Gentile or Greek, and it mentions it in a good way, in the way of you getting blessings, that's talking about an Israelite. Cornelius was an Israelite that was grew up in a family whose parents did not teach him that they were Israelites.
Genesis 12 and 3, that's actually referring to the nation of Israel. In Genesis 12 and 3, right?
No, you're not listening. You're not listening. You are making. Okay, listen. He says he's talking about Israel.
And if I can just get there.
But he says through you all the nations of the world shall be blessed. So he's speaking about Israel, and he's speaking about the rest of the world as well.
He's talking about Israel that's scattered, that don't know that they're Israel, the Gentiles, strangers, all the families of the earth, the families of Israel, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. It's talking about Israel. Now, ultimately, the other nations are going to get some form of blessing. We're going to fuck them up for a segment of time, and then we're going to, let them be under their vine and fig tree, but they're going to be taxed. We're going to let up off them. That's when we utterly destroy Esau.
He's talking about Israel.
Again, he's referring to the people in the unholy land.
If I can just get there.
But he says, through you, all the nations of the world shall be blessed. So he's speaking about Israel, and he's speaking about the rest of the world as well.
How are they going to be? When are they going to be blessed? When is this blessing going to come to pass? It ain't coming in our kingdom. The ones that oppress, the nations that oppress us, they're going to be oppressed. When does that come to pass? That Isaiah chapter 14, 1 and 2 comes, especially verse 2, and so we're going to oppress them that oppressed us. We ain't just going to say, see, y'all did bad for doing that, but the Lord said in Deuteronomy 23 and 7, we can't hate y'all, so we really love y'all, and y'all don't have to even go into slavery. Because we don't agree with them, whatever. We're going to fuck them up, especially Esau.
You cannot leave out goyim. You cannot take that out. As a matter of fact, what does the word Abraham mean? It means the father of nations. Well,
Actually, it means the father of many. Abba Raham means the father of many. The father of a multitude. And what does that mean? That out of his seed, the second son, Isaac, the many, a multitude, not nations. The word there is not nation. I can go to it. It does not mean nation. Nation is a completely different word.
How many nations? How many nations is Israel? That's one. He uses the plural.
Nope. There's more than. Israel is considered nations. Tribes, even tribes. It says something concerning. Let me see if I can find it. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, a bunch of times, over 300 times. But I know it's in okay, let me see what this is not what I want. Let me see. Let me do this. Doesn't come up. Okay, let me do this. Okay, where is it? All right, let me do it this way. Okay, let me open this up. Okay, so here, Jacob is named Israel, and the power and the Most High appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Paddan Aram, and blessed him, and the Most High said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob or Yaquab, but Israel shall be thy name, and he shall call his name Israel. And the Supreme said unto him, I am the Most High Almighty, which is Yahweh. The word here is Alashadya, demon-like power. Shadya means demon. Be fruitful and multiply. He's talking to Jacob, right? A nation and a what? A company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. So, who came out of Jacob? His sons. So each tribe was also called a nation. And it said, kings shall come out of thee. David was a king. Saul was a king. Solomon was a king. Okay, let me jump back over here. So this is what the blessing out of all the families of earth shall be blessed. That's what that means. Okay, let me try this. Right, this is Ephraim. Let me open this up. Okay, and Joseph, namely Ephraim. Joseph and Ephraim are interchangeable. That's why in Revelation chapter 7, it says Joseph instead of Ephraim. And Joseph or Ephraim said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. The firstborn was Manasseh, but Jacob put his right hand, Yaakov put his right hand on Ephraim. But thy right hand upon his head, put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, because the Spirit was working with him, I know it. I know who the oldest son is. But the blessing is going to go on the younger son. my son. I know it. I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great, but truly his younger, which is Ephraim, also known as Joseph, brother, shall be greater than he, and his seed, whose seed? Joseph's seed, Ephraim's seed shall become a multitude of nations. So even among the tribe, each tribe could be also called a nation. I proved that in Genesis, was it 36? Was it 35? You can go back to that. But even among each individual tribe could be called nations. Here's the proof. Shall be greater than he, and his seed, Ephraim's seed, shall become a multitude of nations. So what the hell are you talking about?
Okay. Do you understand Hebrew?
No, I do understand Hebrew, but at the thing
Okay,
my
so
question
you understand
is,
Hebrew. Listen to me. You understand Hebrew?
I'm not, real quick, I'm not.
Hold on,
I'm
wait a
not
second, wait a second. I'm gonna let you
I wanna
finish,
say-
but I want you to hear this.
I want to get the scripture real quick. but
You
it's
can get
okay.
the scripture after I ask this question. What does kol mishpachah mean?
Like I said, I don't know Hebrew to the best of my ability.
Yeah, well, I'm not fluent in Hebrew. I can't speak it and be recognized of it. So we don't go into the Hebrew like that. We do it to get a deeper understanding, which is the root word. So he's trying to be slick. He's doing a vocab move.
Whoa. You just hold on. You just told me you know Hebrew. Did you not? You just told me that. I gave you two
I
words.
said I know Hebrew. That's what I meant to say, right? I don't know.
We like I said, we know the Hebrew to the point where if we see a word, we can identify it. We might have to look it up, but we don't speak Hebrew and write Hebrew. Now, we had a brother named Shalimar that can write Assyrian, ancient Hebrew, Lashon Kodash. He can speak fluent Lashon Kodash, and he can hold a full-on conversation with a small hat. Because I think his parents, he came up as like them Jakes. That when he can hold he spoke it fluently. And I was able to speak it back when I first came in. I was heavy in the Hebrew, and I was able to speak it and understand. I had command of maybe 300 words, but you lose it because you don't have nobody to talk to. How many people do you know? A lot of small hats, you speak to them and you use certain Hebrew words. Yeah, my Hebrew's not rusty. They'll let them say that, man.
Here and say, how would I say this? Excuse me, or Slovakia, or my bad if I did say I know Hebrew exactly. I don't know Hebrew as much as I do, or as much as I need to.
Do you know a little bit of Hebrew?
Understand word?
We know enough Hebrew where we can go to a word, go to the concordance, the blue letter, look the word up, go to the Ben Yehudi, English, Hebrew, English dictionary, and then we can get the word by going into the root word. Just like you have certain words in English that go back to Latin or go back to Greek.
Okay, do you
That doesn't make us fluent in Latin and
know
Greek.
a little bit of Hebrew? You know a little bit of
Yeah,
Hebrew?
no, a bit of it.
But he-
not all
Okay,
of it.
what does the word kol mean in Hebrew?
He should know that. It means all.
Cole?
Kol.
And it's actually kal.
You say Cole?
Kol. What does the word kol in Hebrew
Enlighten
mean?
me on it.
Huh?
My phone it's a delay, so
You just said the word. You
I said my phone is delaying, so you can just.
What does the word kol in Hebrew mean?
You can enlighten me on it. I don't know.
You just said you know at least a little bit. Now, I want you to tell me the truth because you've been lying to me just thus
Yeah, I
far.
said-
You just
wait,
told
real
me
quick.
twice.
Hold on.
I'm going to go ahead and let you go so I can get with everybody else, but I appreciate
Just
you,
one
brother.
second.
So, guys, here's the thing, and this is what happens every time. So, the word called mishpachah is all of these families will be blessed. All of them. All of them.
All of the families that come out of the loins of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
The word call is a basic Hebrew word. It means all, everyone, not just these Jews, everybody. No Christian on the planet really has any reason to debate one of these people. No Christian on the planet really has any reason to debate one of these people. No Christian on the planet really has any reason to debate one of these people.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Recha HaKwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone.
Now, if you don't know Hebrew, can't read Hebrew, can't write Hebrew, can't speak it, don't know any Hebrew, does that make you not an Israelite? Because what was, and I would have hit him with this. I said, the people in the Acts the second chapter is checking. Acts the second chapter, the 5th verse on down. When the multitudes came during the Pentecost, I would say, when is the Pentecost? You probably say Feast of Weeks. Who were those people that came from all over for the Pentecost? They came for the Pentecost. Oh, it says all nations. Oh, you mean all heathen nations came to worship the Pentecost? That's not their high holidays. What does all the nations that came in for the Pentecost in Jerusalem mean? It's talking about all the Israelites. Because it says Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Christians don't see that. What happened was the Spirit jumped on the apostles and they started speaking in tongues, meaning they were speaking the languages of those different Israelites that came from different parts of the world. Why? Because those Israelites didn't know any Hebrew. They knew very little Hebrew. So if you don't know how to speak Hebrew, that makes you not an Israelite. You got Chinese people that can't eat with chopsticks. That don't know a word of Chinese. Does that make that you're not really a Chinese? No. You are who you are based upon your lineage. And we're waking up out of this sleep.
So, honors to you other elders, right? And you other brethren that's been laboring in sincerity, right? And shalom to let me say shalom to you supporters of the truth. That includes your sisters. And let me say shalom to the hopefully elect, shalom to the elect. So anyway, I want to go in this video with Pastor Elder Mike. Right? I think that's his name. We've done...
No, that's not Mike. That's a different guy.
Done several videos on him, right? And this video is... I don't even know the name of the video now. I didn't let...
And Elder Mike embarrassed the IUIC out of Detroit. He embarrassed them. If you can find the videos.
The channel. But it was something like response to the Hebrew Israelites. I don't remember. It says here, let me see if I can find it. Ignorance of the Hebrew Israelites. That's what it is. Ignorance of the Hebrew Israelites. So real quick, I'm going to try to go through this quick and go to Acts 3:25, go to some blue letter, some old English and everything. But first, as I like to do, I like to start off by this. Where did this Pastor Mike get these Israelites to debate from? I've never seen this Jake. It looks like I don't know, he's not from the...
Most likely one of them guys that saw some IUIC videos, some GMS videos, some ISUBK, and he said, I'm going to be a prophet. And let me go deal with this Christian. And he embarrassed himself. Let's listen to a little bit more.
States, I don't think. maybe he is. I don't know where they get him from. But as you saw, Elder Mike, he pulled up the literature and asked them, do you know a little bit of Hebrew? And the Jake said, yeah, I know some Hebrew. And because he couldn't answer what he said, then why'd you lie? That doesn't mean he lied. He might not know exactly what you said. In fact, in that Yiddish type of, because
Yeah, I would have said, you know, the Hebrew. I said I don't speak Hebrew. You can't throw exclusively a book with Hebrew. I can't just read it like you would read English, and I can't hold a conversation in the Hebrew language. But what I'll do is if I go to the scriptures, I find a word, I want to get a deep understanding of that particular word in what the book of Deuteronomy or whatever. I would go back to the concordance or the blue letter, you know, and I would look that word up. Then I would most likely go to what you used to do is go to the Hebrew, English, Hebrew dictionary and see what that word means and what the root word of that word is. So no, I don't speak fluent. I know certain Chinese words. I know there's certain Chinese words I know. There's certain Japanese words I know. You know, nan desu ka? I believe that's what time is it. What else? Ohio gozaimasu means good morning. Konnichiwa. Arigato. Domo means please. Nan desu ka means what? Or nani means what? Yo, what? What? If I say nani and not nan desu ka, that's a disrespectful way of saying somebody's. Now, so I know some Japanese. Japanese, I can count from 1 to 10. Ichi ni san chi go ruk si chach kyu. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 10 in Japanese. But no Japanese person speak. I'm lost. So the same thing with the Hebrew. There's certain words I'm familiar with in the Hebrew that I can actually read in the Hebrew. But no, I don't speak it fluently. And that's where this guy failed at. He's, like I said, he's just a guy that's been watching a couple of videos and he became a self-proclaimed prophet. And he embarrassed himself.
When he first said it, I was like, what is that? But then, okay, we see that the way he said coil or coal.
And he's saying it different than what we say it.
Coal, when we say call, you know, just that little interpretation is off. Did you know even over in the Holy Land, so to speak, they have different interpretations of Yiddish and Hebrew? I would have told him that. Did you know we're not even really speaking the pure English? You know, except over in like England, and it's even gotten watered down. It's a Germanic type of language. Yeah. This is all a spiritual thing. But he wanted to attack him. See, just because we call ourselves Hebrew Israelites, right, it doesn't mean we know full Hebrew. This is a nationality thing, not so much of a language. You got people calling themselves Americans, and it's not American. But they can call themselves that. So anyway, everything this man is saying, the things he was saying, and all means all. Now, if I'm talking to my family and say all my people, then it's talking about all of my family. But, you know, you're not going to get that. And then he talks about don't debate these people. They're not worth it. But yet vocab does the same thing, but he doesn't say anything to vocab. Anyway, let's go to Acts 3. Genesis. What is it? Genesis? I believe he quoted Genesis 12:3. We can almost quote that off the top of our head. I will bless them that bless thee, curse them that curse thee, and in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So I'm going to read it out 3 different translations before the...
And if he truly understood the word bless, he wouldn't say what he said, this Christian. when you go into the word blessed, the word is barak. When you go into the root of that word, it literally means the person that bows down to the other person. The person that's bowing down is not the blessed person. The person that's standing up, accepting the person bowing down to him, that's a blessing. So we're not going to be in the kingdom of heaven bowing down to Edomites. So if nobody bows down to you, you're not blessed. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and prove that. That's why you got to go to the root of the word. Then I'm going to get ready to close. Let me see. Blessed. The Pope, did people kiss his ring and bow down to him? He's blessed. Floyd Mayweather is rich, but Floyd Mayweather ain't. People talk shit about Floyd Mayweather. The small hats are blessed, because when you talk bad about him, how does the old saying go? Help me out. I'm gonna botch the way it's said, but it said you want to find out who rules. Criticize if you criticize somebody and they come against you, those are the people that rule. But somebody help me out. There's a saying, right? Let me try this. I want to get the saying right. How am I going to phrase this? How do you know someone is a ruler if you criticize them? Let's see what comes up. That's not, I got to word it right. Somebody help me out. I got to get the wording right. In other words, if you do a YouTube video, and you say anything that they think is negative towards the hats, they're going to cut your video. Anything. So that's how you know who rules this shit. But there's a saying for it. Anyway, where did I say I was going to go? Okay, bless. And the Most High blessed them, saying, be fruitful in multitude. Let's look at the word bless. Bless. The word is barak. That's a final car. To bless, kneel. To kneel, which means to bow down to. To cause to kneel. And here it is, right here. Bless is 302 times. Salute, curse, blaspheme, blessing, praise, kneel down. Kneel. Make to kneel. So we're not going to be all nations going to be in the kingdom. If the Israelite sees an Edomite, I got to bow down to him? Are you out your fucking mind? If I see a Moabite, I got to bow down to him? And he can choose not to bow down to me? So this guy doesn't even know the meaning of the word blessing, the root of the word blessing. How in the hell can all nations be blessed under Abraham's seed or Abraham? That means the Most High going to make everybody equal. Listen to it a little bit more.
KJV. You know what? Yeah, before the KJV. In fact, let me go here. Let me go to the Geneva Bible. See what it says there. It says the same thing as the KJV. So let's go back to...
You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. And I did this before. Isaiah 14. And 2. I'm sorry, 2. Cambridge Bible, and the people and peoples shall oppress them. And we're going to oppress them, they oppressed us. Serve themselves ears to them. Leviticus 25:46. And you shall take them for the idea of Isaiah 60. These are the scriptural references. So what does it mean by we're going to oppress them that oppressed us? We're not going to bow to the people that we're oppressing. Anybody that oppressed us, all the major nations did, we're going to oppress them. Isaiah 60:10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. And strangers is talking about, the word there is Nakar, or should be Nakar. And their kings shall minister unto you. For my wrath is it? I smote you. In my wrath I smote you. Israel, who did smote? Israel. But in my favor I had mercy upon you. 14 verse. The sons also of them that afflicted you shall come bending to you, and all day bending to you. We're going to be blessed, not them. That despise you, hated you, shall bow themselves down at the soles of your feet, and they shall call you the city of Yahweh. Who shall they call the city of Yahweh? The Israelites, the Zion of the Holy One of Yasha'Allah. Zion means the remembered monument. Isaiah 61:5. Oh, and by the way, Isaiah 61:5, I did this before. If you go to, I believe that's Luke 4, when our Lord went into the temple and he opened up the book. He went to Isaiah 61 and started from the first verse and read down to, I believe, the 4th verse. And he closed the scroll and he said, today this has been fulfilled. When you read Isaiah 61, 1 on down, it speaks about how somebody's going to come to deliver them out of their prison. So they knew that was talking about the Messiah. So he was saying, I'm the Messiah. And what did they want? How did they reward him? By trying to throw his ass off a mountain. So if he had read on, because this applies too, if Isaiah 61, 1 to 4 will come to pass, then the rest of Isaiah 61 is going to come to pass, right? What does it say in Isaiah 61 and 5? And strangers, the word there should be Nakar, shall stand and feed your flocks. That's field niggas. And the sons of plantation. And the sons of the alien strangers shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. They're going to be working for us. We're not going to be working. Now let's go to the blue letter. Let's go to the blue letter. When you deal with them Christians, if you're going to dialogue with them, don't have no mercy with them. Just cut them. I don't care if it's an old black woman. Just cut the hell out of her, man. If she can't get it, just shake the dust off your feet at that old bat. Because this is war. This is war. And strangers shall stand and feed your flock, and the sons of aliens shall be your plowmen and your wine dressers. So we're going to pull out some words and then we're going to close. Let's look up the word. Okay, let me see. Let's see what this word means. Zawar. To be strange, to become a strange, another, foreigner, an enemy, loathsome, strange woman, prostitute, harlot, to be strange. Now, let me see. That's a primitive root. So you're gonna come across that when you come across the word stranger. One of the roots goes back to Zawar, and this means of another nation. Right? It says to consecrate and to sanctify them, but a stranger shall not eat thereof, because they are holy, and ye shall offer no strange incense. It's talking about of another nation. Stranger shall stand and feed your flock, plantation workers, and the sons of aliens. Now this word right here, alien, it also, the word in the New Testament is stranger. I'm going to prove that. Nakar. Foreigner, alien, foreigner. That which is foreign gods, alien, foreigner, foreign vanities, meaning of another nation. But alien is there only one time, which is Isaiah 61. Strange is 17 times. Stranger is 10 times. Stranger is seven times. Then you have the word Gar. You have Nakar and Gar. You have strangers that are Israelites that lived outside the land for a number of years and decided to come back in. So now let's look up the word plowman. 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 The word is a car. From an unused root meaning to dig. Plowman, husbandman, farmer, working the land yet not owning any of it. What's another way of saying that? That's a nice way of saying a slave. Esau had Jacob on plantations, and what did the field workers do? They were plowmen. They were farmers that didn't reap the benefits of the what was produced from the farm, from the land. So they did that to us, so we're going to do that to them. We're going to have them working out in the field. So let's review. Let's go back to the word blessing. Blessing means a person that's blessed is someone that stands there and people bow down to him. It's in a kingdom, it's not going to be a kingdom where everybody's equal. So he doesn't know the scriptures. Just another clown. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next.